Hello, my friends. Happy New Moon Day. I haven't done one of these live stream classes in a little while, so thanks for joining me. Whether you're here live with me on Monday evening or watching it afterwards, I'm really happy to be doing a class tonight. So, um, if you haven't joined before, the new moon class is a power yoga class. So we're starting a new moon cycle. We're coming to a point where the moon and sun are in the same region of the sky in Virgo today. So moving into this new cycle, starting fresh with some new energy, setting our intentions for the next 4 weeks or so, and doing some yoga to really seal it all in and kick things off to a good start. So, thank you again for joining. If you are ready to go ahead and just take a comfortable seat. We're gonna just take a few minutes to settle in and just find the breath. So you're welcome to find a comfortable spot on your mat, and we'll just get started with a couple long, deep breaths. So go ahead and find that comfy seat. We'll take a breath in through the nose. And then a long breath out through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Let's continue that long, deep breath. So just starting to settle in here, just starting to find your breathing and feel really grounded. So you'll notice I am in a bathing suit top. I actually went paddleboarding earlier today with a friend, and something that we were talking about a little bit was how grounding it feels to go paddleboarding, which is kind of funny just because when you're out on the water, doing any kind of water sport on a boat, paddleboard, whatever, whatever you're doing, the water can be a little bit rocky. There's usually some waves. You're not actually super stable, but something about having to find your balance and having to remain stable in that situation is actually really grounding and makes you feel like that sense of stillness in a way, even though there's a lot of movement. So as we go into this new moon in Virgo, which is an earth sign, I think of Virgo as this this energy of like getting your life together pretty much. So it's such a great time to like focus on like organization, cleaning projects, just kind of starting routines, getting your ducks in a row in like every sense imaginable. And um, I think sometimes to find that stability, you have to acknowledge, what is the challenge? What is that rocky water for you in your life that is kind of forcing you to find that stability? So just taking a moment to reflect on that idea, really trying to usher in this sense of stability, the sense of organization, the sense of having our lives together throughout this cycle. But in order to get there, we have to start from that place of maybe a little uncertainty, maybe a little rockiness, maybe some sort of challenge, right? So just like when you're paddleboarding and Your challenge is the rocky waves, the water not being a totally solid thing to stand on. Things in our lives might not feel solid, areas that might feel rocky. So whatever it is you're trying to navigate, certainly keep that in mind as we go through our class tonight. So we try to find more stability. I'm going to start the music. Please let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. You can leave a comment in the little chat. One more deep breath. And we'll get started with some movement. So you can take your fingertips down to either side of your mat. We'll keep the right hand grounded down. Start to lift the left arm up by the ear, and then extend the left arm over the left ear. So just finding a side bend here. Next breath in, both arms come up high. As you exhale, left fingers come down, right arm comes over the right ear. So just starting to find a little movement here. Let's continue with the breath. Big breath in, sweep up. Big exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale to the side. Let's do one more on each side. Big breath in, reach. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side bend. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, just extend your palms forward towards me. Look at the back of your hands, fingers pointing up. And then fingers come and point down. Let's just stretch all the wrists like this. Fingers point up. And then fingers come down. Good. Shake out the wrists and make your way onto your hands and knees. So setting up in our tabletop position, align your shoulders over your wrists, your hips right over your knees. And just find that nice, strong core. So hugging that belly button in towards your spine. Strong in the arms. Stable through the legs. And we'll start to move through our cat and cow. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, open your heart. Exhale, round through the spine, look back between the arms to the tops of your thighs. Inhale, drop the belly, open the heart. Exhale, round. 2 more big breaths. Moving with your own breath, starting to allow your breathing to guide your movement here. 1 more. Come back to a neutral spine. Start to walk your hands out a little bit in front of you and shift your hips all the way back to a child's pose. Rest here for a moment. Notice how you feel. Know that this shape is available to you if you need to rest at any point during class, if you need to take a break, if you're doing something that doesn't feel right in your body, if you don't want to take a downward dog. You can always come right back here. Good. Now go ahead and start to shift your weight back up to all fours. Nice, strong tabletop. From here, extend the right leg out behind you. Keep the right toes down on the mat. So just finding that length along the back of the right leg to start. And then shift the weight forward and back. Just a couple times here. So finding a stretch along the back of that leg. Heel reaches back. And then as you shift forward, a little stretch in the wrists and forearms. And then come to stillness, hovering that nose right over the center, points between your 2 hands. Start to hover the right toes up off the mat, but keep the hips level, toes pointing straight down. Nice and strong here. We're just gonna start to pulse that right heel up towards the sky. So just lifting the heel a little bit higher, squeezing the glutes, and then release back down. Again, pulsing the heel up and down. And we'll do that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release that knee back down. Neutral tabletop position. And we'll start to do that on the other side. So left leg extends out long, left toes come down. And just shift the weight forward and back. Just a couple rounds here. And then come to stillness. Left toes hover, left toes pointing straight down. Heel start to lift up, feeling that activation in your glute here. Hips stay level. Your entire body stays nice and solid except for your leg just shifting up and down. So again, lift and release. And 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the knee down, tabletop position. Good. Walk the hands just one hand print forward, curl your toes under, hover the knees off the mat, pause here. Holding strong in your core. And then the hips shift up and back to our first downward facing dog. Setting up in our downward dog, head is nice and in line with the arms, nice long spine, hips shifting up and back. Slight bend in the knees. You might bend into one knee and then the other a couple times, just pedaling out the legs. Good. Start to bend into both knees, look up towards the hands, and we'll tiptoe the feet towards the top of the mat for our first forward fold. So feet land about hips width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider for this first one. Release your head and neck. Fingers can touch on the mat. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. Shake your head yes and no a few times to just release any stress, any tension in your neck. Next inhale, hands come up the legs, landing on the shins or tops of the thighs. Nice long flat back. Crown of the head reaching forward, looking straight down. And with a big breath out, release back into your forward fold. As you inhale, we'll start to roll up to stand, so stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Once you arrive at the top, bring the shoulders up and back. Nice, strong mountain pose. Palms are facing forward, gaze is forward, shoulder blades strong together, big open heart. Feeling strong and stable, feeling connected to the ground underneath you. With a breath in, sweep both arms up high. And as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips, forward fold. Bend into the knees enough that you can plant both hands down and step the feet back to a high plank. Now we'll hold here, nice and strong. Just imagining your body as one big long board. Shoulders over the elbows, over the wrists. Pressing into all 10 fingertips, heels pressing back. Core hugging in. Good. And then option to tap the knees down if you'd like. We'll start to bend into the elbows to release all the way down onto the belly. If you can't be on your belly for any reason when we do this, you can always just stay on all fours. From your belly, press into the hands. Feel your head and heart off the mat for a baby cobra. If you're staying on all fours, just taking a cow pose, so dropping the belly, lifting the head and heart. One more big breath in here. And release with an exhale. Inhale, press back up through all fours or through your plank. And big breath out takes us all back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. And a big breath out. Let's move through that sun salutation a little more quickly, moving with the breath. Bend into both knees, look up towards the hands. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll up to stand, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. Inhale, fingers come up. And exhale, dive back into your forward fold. Plant the hands of the feet back to plank. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower down to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press up through all fours or tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Big breath in. And a breath out. Bend into both knees, look up to the hands, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up to stand, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back, take a breath in. Exhale, lower all the way, or this time pause halfway in our chaturanga. Inhale to that baby cobra again, or upward dog. So I'm demonstrating upward dog, hands and tops of the feet on the mat. Big breath out, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in, and a breath out. Take 2 more big breaths here. I'm just coming back to my screen to just check chat. Feel free to pop any questions in the chat if anything comes up. All right, from our downward dog, we're gonna take a big breath in, start to lift the right heel up towards the sky. 3-legged dog. You can stay right here. You can start to bend to the knee and open the hip a little bit. Just getting a nice opening here. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, knee comes towards the nose and plant that right foot down. Take a couple sets to get there if you need to. Setting up in our runner's lunge. Press down through the left hand. Right hand comes to the low back or up to the sky for a simple twist. Twisting towards your right. Big open heart, shoulders stacked. 1 more breath in. And a breath out. Release that hand to frame the foot. Hover both hands off the mat. Reach the hands forward. Pause here, looking straight down at that front foot. Nice and strong in the legs. And with the next breath in, reach up high. Take an exhale to settle into your high lunge here. Another big breath in, reaching the fingers high. And exhale, settle into your strong legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Frame that front foot, plant the hands, step the front foot back to your plank, and take a flow or go straight to your downward dog. If you're flowing, we'll take a breath in our plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, left leg rises, heel comes high. Option to bend that left knee, open up the hip if that feels good. Another breath in. And with the exhale, left knee comes towards the nose and plant that left foot between the hands for your runner's lunge. Set up the feet. Right hand plants down, left hand comes to the low back or up high. Twisting towards the left. Big open heart. Shoulders come to stack. 1 more breath in. With the exhale, release the hand, frame that front foot, hover both hands off the mat, reach them forward, looking straight down at the left toes. Nice strong core, nice strong legs. Next inhale, fingers come up, face forward, high lunge. Exhale to settle. Another breath in, fingers reach up. Exhale, settle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Frame that front foot. Step the front foot back to plank. And take a flow or go to down dog. Flowing, exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Another breath in. And a breath out. Good. Bend into both knees, look up to the hands, step or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to your fold. Inhale, roll up to stand, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, bend into both knees, shift the hips back for chair pose. Nice and strong here. So if you look down, you should be able to see your toes. Legs are squeezing together, hips are shifting back, and you have a nice long spine. So notice if you're arching the back or rounding the back at all, keep it nice and straight. Imagine we're in our tabletop, right in between our cat and cow, neutral spine. One more breath in here. And a breath out. Shift the weight into your right foot. Maybe just come a little bit out of this deep bend in the knees. And we're gonna step the left foot back to our high lunge. So take a couple steps if you need to, just setting up the legs here. With an inhale, reach the arms up high to that high lunge again. This time as you exhale, we're gonna open up to warrior two. So the right fingertips come forward, left fingers come back, and this left leg pivots down so that the toes are pointing over toward the left edge of your mat. You might widen the stance a little bit, so be creating a little more space between the front and back foot. Keeping a deep bend in that knee, so the knee is over the ankle. Arms reaching strong, gazing over the right fingertips. Sink a little bit deeper. Flip the front palm, reach the fingers a little farther forward, and then sweep that palm up high as the left arm comes down for our reverse warrior. With a big breath out, we're gonna cartwheel the arms forward to frame the front foot. Runner's lunge. Plant the hands, set the front foot back to plank, and take a flow or go straight to down dog. You know the drill by now. Moving with the breath. Always the option to skip the flow and go right to downward dog or child's pose if you need to rest. Big breath in and out. Bend into both knees, look up to the hands, step or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up to stand, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, hands come to heart. Take a breath in. As you exhale, sink into your chair pose. Hip shifting back. You can see the toes, legs squeezing together. Nice long spine. Sink a little bit deeper. Maybe a little bit deeper. Beautiful. Now come halfway out of it, shift the weight into the left foot. This time, right foot steps back, high lunge. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Left fingers forward, right fingers back. Right toe swivel over towards the right. Maybe widening that stance a little bit. Maybe bending more deeply into that knee. Keeping the knee over the ankle. So I always just check if my knee is kind of turning in like this. It's really easy to kind of sink that knee inwards. We want to keep it nice and open. So hip nice and open. If you need to physically take that hand and peel that knee over towards the pinky side edge of the foot. Big, open, strong arms. Flip that front palm, reach the fingers forward, and sweep it up and back, reverse warrior. Big cartwheel forward, takes us back to a runner's lunge. Set the front foot back to plank, and we flow. Once you're out in downward dog, take a big breath in, and a long breath out. Another big breath in, and a long breath out. Good. Bend into both knees, look up towards the hands, step or hop to the top of the mat for your forward fold. With a breath in, lift halfway, and exhale, release to fold. Inhale, roll up to stand, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. just gonna come to this side of the mat so I'm facing you throughout this. Take a breath in. As you exhale, sink into that chair pose again. So same thing, nice and strong here. This time we're gonna come into a little bit of a flow with it. So as you inhale, we're gonna take the arms down by your sides, press up out of the heels, nice strong standing pose. As you exhale, sink back into your chair pose a little bit deeper. Inhale, press up, nice and strong. Exhale, sink into your chair pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Moving with the breath. As you lift, try to squeeze your glutes together. Using the heels to press up and out, and then shifting the hips forward when you get to the top. One more time. Next time you go into your chair, pause there. Shift the weight into the right foot. We're gonna step the left foot back, but come through just like a floating shape first. So almost like you're coming through a warrior three. Lifting that left heel for a moment, and then carefully stepping it back. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, reverse the triangle. Exhale, cartwheel the arms into your triangle pose. So right arm comes down, left arm reaches up high, shoulders stacked. Beautiful. Nice and strong here. Awesome. Now bring the arms back up to a T. Turn those front toes in so all 10 toes are pointing towards the right edge of your mat, or the left edge of your mat actually. And then just take the heels a little bit in towards each other. As you inhale, reach both arms up to meet overhead. As you exhale, we're gonna sink into both knees, lowering the hips, and take the elbows out to the side for goalpost arms. Good. Nice and strong here. Inhale, reach up, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, sink into your goalpost arms. Nice deep squat here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink down, nice and strong. Awesome. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale to sink. Pause here for 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, release into a wide-legged forward fold. Beautiful. Take a couple breaths here. Nice and strong. Now we're going to release the hands down in front of you. So bend into your knees enough that you can place the hands down and start to walk them over towards the left foot. So they're walking towards the back of the mat now. And we're going to heel toe that left foot all the way over to the edge of the mat. Hands come to the inside of the left foot. You're facing the back of the mat. So you're facing the opposite direction that you started in. And then go ahead and drop that back knee down. Coming into a lizard lunge for a moment here. So opening the hip, your hands can stay planted here. If you have space, you can release down onto your forearms, but just be careful with that. If it feels too intense in your back or in your hip, then just come back up onto your hands. And if you happen to have blocks on you, this can be a really good place to rest your forearms on your blocks rather than all the way down on your mat for kind of something in between. But wherever you are, just feel this nice opening in your outer hip. Hold this for 3, 2, 1. Curl the back toes under, lift that back knee, and we're gonna step this back foot forward to land in a squat at the back of the mat. So heels are coming in a little bit, toes coming out slightly. I'm just gonna turn so you can see what it looks like. So yeah, as you can see, toes pointing out a little bit. Hands can stay down on the mat here, or if you feel kind of strong enough to hold yourself up just on your feet, you can release off your hands maybe take the hands to heart center, using the elbows to press the hips open. If this doesn't feel good, you can always ease out of it a little bit, keep your hands down on the mat, or just come onto your butt and go like this. We're just gonna take 3 more rounds of breath here, wherever you are. And then nice and slow, make your way all the way back up to stand. So feel free to use your hands to support you. Making our way back up to a mountain pose. Big breath in and out. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, sink into your chair pose, this time arms overhead. Good, shift the weight into the left foot this time. Right knee comes in towards the chest. So finding a little bit of a balance here. And then nice and slow, we'll step that leg back behind us, coming into a high lunge. So we're facing the back of the mat, so facing away from wherever we started in. Left leg is up front, or left toes are pointing towards the back of the mat, which is now in front of you, if that makes sense. Big breath in your high lunge. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Widen the stance a little maybe. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left fingers come up and back. As you exhale, we're gonna cartwheel into a side angle pose. So the left elbow comes down onto the inside of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up high. Now notice if you're sinking your elbow weight into this leg, don't dump the weight into it. Be nice and light in this arm. So you might even hover the elbow a few inches off the thigh and then release it back down. Make sure you can do this. Super strong. The elbow and thigh are just touching each other for support here. We're using the strength of this front leg to hold ourselves up. One more breath in. And out. Cartwheel the arms back up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Turn the front toes in. Heels come a little in towards each other again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink into that goddess pose with goalpost arms. Good. So strong here. This time we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, wide-legged forward fold. Release the head and neck. Good. So strong. We are almost there, you guys. Take a couple breaths here. Allow yourself to find release. Now we're gonna plant the hands down, start to walk the hands back towards that right foot. This time we make our way right back into a runner's lunge. So hands are framing that front foot, and then the front foot steps back to your high plank. Take a flow or go straight to downward dog. If you're flowing, exhale to lower, halfway or all the way. Inhale to up dog or baby cobra. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath in and a breath out. I'm just turning around again, once again, so that I'm kind of facing you as we make our way from one side to the other. We're going to do that on the other side. So bending into the knees, look up to the hands, step or hop to the top of the mat for your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come up to stand, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, come into your chair pose. Hips shift down and back. Nice and strong here. We'll take that little squat flow, this time just 5 rounds. So inhale, press out of your heels, glutes squeeze, hips come forward. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to sink. 3 more. 2 more. Last time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink down. Pause here. This time the weight is shifting into the left foot. We're going to start to kick that right heel back, coming up through a warrior 3. If you lose your balance, just come right back into it. And eventually, carefully placing that foot down. Setting up for your high lunge. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, open up to warrior 2. Left fingers forward, right fingers back. Nice, wide, strong stance. Straighten into that front leg. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse your triangle. Exhale, cartwheel into triangle pose. Left hand lands on the left leg, right arm reaches high. Big open heart. Shoulders stacked. Beautiful. Just finding a nice opening here. Whew. I'm sweating. All right, bring the arms back up to a T. Turn those front toes in. Heels just coming a little bit towards each other. Toes coming away from each other. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to that goddess pose. Go post arms. This time we're gonna go from one side to the other. So right elbow comes down towards that right knee. Maybe tap. Come back to center. Left elbow comes to left knee. Tap. Return to center. Nice strong core here. So keeping that spine nice and long. And the left. One more on each side. Over to the right. Over to the left. Back to center. One more breath in. And out. Exhale, forward fold. Release your head and neck. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. This time, hands are gonna walk over towards the right foot. So coming towards the back of the mat, right foot, heel toes, over to the long edge of the mat. Hands come to the inside of the right foot. Release the left knee down. And again, we're just finding this hip opening here. So, option to stay on the hands, option to come down onto the forearms if you'd like. Just finding the shape that works for you. Feeling that opening in your right hip. Nice and strong. Hold there for 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to come up off of that back knee and step the back foot forward to our squat at the top of the mat, which is the back of the mat. The back of the mat is the new top of the mat. And just find that squat for a few rounds of breath. I showed you the options on the other side, so again, whatever works best for you. Slowly come out of this, making our way back up to our mountain pose. Nice and slow, pressing into the heels to lift. And once you arrive here, taking a breath in and out. As you inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, come into your chair pose with your fingers lifted. Shift the weight into your right foot and press out of that right leg as the left knee hugs in towards your chest. So just finding a balanced shape right here. For the record, I'm absolutely cheating because I have really low ceilings in here. So I'm using this for support. So if you fall because you don't have a ceiling to hold on to, that's totally fine. Just come back into it. And then nice and slow, we're gonna move that floating leg back. Left toes land behind you for your runner's lunge, or your high lunge, sorry. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Widening the stance, settling in here. Right fingers forward, left fingers back, right knee sinking. Nice and strong. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel into that side angle pose. Right elbow to right leg. Left arm reaches high. Good. Super strong here. And again, notice if you're sinking down. I just caught myself doing it. Hover the elbow an inch or two off the knee, and then release it back down. Sink that knee a little deeper. Super strong for 3, 2, 1. Cartwheel the arms back up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Turn the right toes in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, goddess pose with goalpost arms. This time, we're gonna hold here. We're gonna press into the left toes and lift the left heel. We're gonna release the left heel back down. Press into the right toes, lift the right heel. Release the right heel back down. Press into both toes, lift both heels. If it feels okay. If you don't feel solid, you can release the heels. If you want to challenge yourself, challenge your balance, challenge your stability, hold here for 3, 2, on 1. Release, straighten the legs, wide-legged forward fold. Release your head and neck. Breathe. Feel free to shift the hips from side to side if that feels good. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. Maybe finding a different version of this. And then we'll start to walk the hands back over towards that left foot, coming back to face the front of the mat, framing the left foot, runner's lunge. Step that front foot back to your plank and take one last flow here, or go straight to downward dog. If you're flowing, take a big breath in. As you exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to your up dog or baby cobra. And exhale to our very last downward facing dog. Once you arrive here, take a big breath in. And a cleansing breath out. And then we'll all release down onto our hands and knees. Shift your hips back. Knees can stay in line with your leg or come as wide as the mat for our child's pose. Walk the hands forward, release the head and neck. Forehead comes down to the mat, or maybe you rest the forehead on your arms like a little pillow. Just start to catch your breath here and notice how you feel. Notice if you're a little hot, a little sweaty, if you're breathing a little more deeply than you were when we started class. Just checking in here. And notice if there were certain parts of that flow where you felt more solid, more grounded, or less solid, less grounded. Those are areas where maybe you have the opportunity to find more stability throughout this season, this cycle. Where is it in our lives that we maybe feel a little bit wobbly, a little bit uncertain, a little bit insecure maybe? And how can you bring a little bit more order and confidence and stability to that? through practice, through organization, through new routines, whatever it may be. Let's start to shift back up to our tabletop shape. So coming back through all fours just for a moment here. Maybe just taking one little round of cat and cow here while we're here. Never hurt anyone. And then making your way towards a seat. So however that works for you, just spinning your legs over. Landing here with the soles of the feet down on the mat. We're going to transition to our backs, going through a boat pose. So just one last kind of little core challenge before we make our way all the way down onto our backs and really start to cool down and shift towards our Shavasana. So sitting right here with the soles of the feet on the mat, holding the legs either by the front of your shins or the back of the thighs, and just start to shift your upper body backwards. Henry, get out of the way, buddy. Shoulder blades draw together. So keeping the spine nice and long. It's really easy here to kind of feel a little more stable and balanced by like rounding into the spine, but you're not challenging your core when you round into the spine. You got to keep it nice and long here. You might start to feel a little activation in your core right here. Now you can stay right here, or if you're able to kind of identify that little spot on the glutes where you kind of feel a little balanced, you start to lift the feet just a few inches off the mat. So first just finding that balance. And then once you kind of feel stable there, we can start to explore deepening the challenge in the core here. So legs can come up higher. It's one way to make it more challenging. You can release the legs, either reaching the fingers forward or reaching them up overhead. Probably will find a point where you're a little shaky, so I'm definitely fully vibrating right here, which means it is challenging. And my body is fighting to find that stability. Now we're gonna release about halfway down, so find somewhere where you can carefully start to release your body down, but we're gonna pause about halfway. And then lift yourself back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Release halfway, hovering, and come back up. 1 more time. Halfway down, and then back up. And then this time, nice and slow, release yourself all the way down to your mats. Hands come down by your sides with the palms face up. Just take a breath here. Another big breath in and out. Go ahead and hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And then let both knees fall over towards one side. Doesn't matter which side. Arms come out to a T. Soften through the shoulders. Find and release all along the spine. And breathe. Reflecting on our class, maybe reflecting on just that last pose, that boat pose. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of stability. And I think that shakiness, that shaky sensation is so interesting just because it feels really kind of weird, like your body just starts moving uncontrollably because you're fighting so hard to stay stable, which is kind of cool and kind of goes along with, the theme of this class, the theme of the current new moon, just finding that stability, but finding it through challenge and finding it through something that doesn't feel super stable, that doesn't feel super solid or comfortable to you. So take the knees back into the chest, and we'll let them fall over to the other side. Final twist. Finding that softness, finding that release, taking the arms back out to a T if you moved them at all, and breathing. And maybe just taking this last shape of class to reflect on how you can bring that idea of working towards stability through instability into other areas of your life. So maybe just thinking of one thing that you're working towards, or one thing that has been really challenging for you lately in your everyday life off the mat, not necessarily a yoga pose. And seeing if maybe you can view those challenges, those things that feel like they're putting you off balance, as something that is necessary to get you to a point of balance, to get you to a point of stability. Because you would never really be working towards it or fighting against it if it weren't a challenge, if it didn't feel unstable. Challenges are meant to make us stronger. When you're out in the water, the waves make you feel unstable, but that forces you to find your stability and find your groundedness, and ends up being such a grounding experience in that way. Start to take the knees back and towards your chest, and give yourself one last hug here. And you're doing this at home, so feel free to take any other little stretches or shapes that you'd like before we move into our Shavasana. And of course, you can stay here as long as you'd like. I will wake you up in about 5 minutes or so. But if you don't want to get up when I cue for it, you're always welcome to pause the video, take a little bit longer, maybe tuck yourself right into bed, depending on what your night looks like. Just following whatever is calling to your body after we move on from tonight's practice. But definitely giving yourself a few moments here to just be present with yourself and absorb the benefits of our practice tonight. Settling back into your deep breath. Closing or resting your eyes, releasing the arms down by your sides, legs long or in any comfortable shape. And just allowing yourself to be still. Start to just bring a little bit of awareness back to the body. So taking a couple deep breaths, bringing the awareness back to your breathing. Maybe just wiggling your fingers and toes a couple of times. Rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. And breathing deeply. Start to open the eyes and just allow yourself to just fall over onto one side. Maybe hug the knees into the chest. Just come onto a fetal position on your side and take a big breath there. Take this moment as a transition between your Shavasana and the rest of your evening. And express gratitude for yourself for making this time to honor your body, to set intentions, to be present with yourself, and take good care of yourself. And then when you feel ready, you can press yourself all the way up to a seated position. And just meet me here with your hands at heart center for us to close out our practice together. Take your hands to your heart. We'll take one last collective breath together. On the inhale, sweeping the arms up high one last time, meeting overhead. And with the biggest breath out you've taken all day, release the hands to your heart. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. The light in me sees, appreciates, honors, and respects the light and love in each and every one of you watching. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. If you enjoyed this practice, please be sure to subscribe to my channel below. I will be back soon. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I haven't done this class in a while. I've just been busy teaching in-person classes, but if you enjoyed it, I will definitely be back. Sign up for my mailing list, which is on my website. The link to everything is in the description of this YouTube video. This is free. I have a link to my Venmo and PayPal if you want to give a tip or donation or anything. Not required, but lovingly accepted. And if you are in the New England area at all, I do teach in-person classes, mostly in Massachusetts. So again, just check out my website, join my mailing list, follow me on Instagram and YouTube and all that to stay in touch. And I hope you have an awesome, wonderful night and a lovely, lovely new moon cycle. Mwah. Thank you again.